In life, things don't always go according to our plans. Sometimes our efforts and expectations are dashed, leaving us disappointed and sad. However, in moments like these, we need to remember that there is a greater power controlling and directing our lives. This is the message that the speaker wanted to convey in the opening paragraph of the speech. There are many times in life when we feel helpless and tired because things don't seem to go as expected. We make plans, try our best, but in the end, everything falls apart. This can lead to depression and loss of faith in yourself and in life. But in those times, it's important for us to remember that we are not alone and things are not out of control. We must realize that there is an invisible hand guiding us through trials and difficulties. In Bible verse Proverbs 16, it is said that man makes plans, but the right answer comes from God. This reminds us that although we may plan and intend, the end result is in God's hands. This does not mean that we should stop planning or making efforts, but that we should learn to trust in God's guidance and arrangements. Even when things don't go as we expected, we must believe that there is a reason and a better plan waiting for us. Failure and difficulty are not the end, but an opportunity for us to learn and grow. We must know how to let go of unsuccessful things and not let them affect our mood in life. When we trust in God and accept His arrangements, we will see that even things that seem impossible can become a reality. The speaker used this opening paragraph to give a message of hope and confidence. They encourage those who are feeling defeated to trust God and realize that everything has a reason and a better plan awaits. By trusting in God and accepting His arrangements, we will see that everything will turn out well, and we will have great victories in life. When we feel like everything is falling apart, the most important thing is that we don't give up hope. We must believe that there is a greater power guiding us, and that everything will be okay. With faith and trust in God, we can overcome any challenge and achieve great things in life. Please comment number 1 before hearing all this from God. Believe in God. Each of us has our own plans and dreams. We set goals, make detailed plans, and try our best to achieve them. However, sometimes, no matter how carefully we prepare, things can still go against expectations. In moments like these, it is important for us to remember that God has a plan for us, a plan that goes beyond our understanding and intentions. This is the message from Bible verse Proverbs 16. Man makes plans, but the right answer comes from God. A specific example to illustrate this is the story of Joseph in the Bible. Joseph, son of Jacob, had a dream that one day he would become great and his brothers would kneel before him. However, instead of seeing his dream come true immediately, Joseph was hated by his brothers, sold into slavery, and spent many years in prison. During this time, Joseph may have felt like all his plans and dreams were destroyed. But God had other plans for Joseph. In the end, Joseph was not only freed, but also became second in command to the Pharaoh in Egypt, saving both his family and the country during a time of food scarcity. Joseph's story reminds us that even though we may not understand why unexpected things happen, God always has a better plan for us. This also reflects in our daily lives. Many of us have experienced feelings of failure and loss when plans did not go as expected. We may feel discouraged, disoriented, and even lose faith in ourselves. But if we trust in God and realize that He has His own plan for us, we will find comfort and hope. Even when things don't go as planned, we need to believe that God is leading us to a better path. The Bible verse Isaiah 35:4 also reminds us of this. Say to those who are timid in heart, "Be strong, do not fear. Behold, your Lord will come with vengeance, with recompense." God's compensation. He will come and save you. When we face challenges and turmoil, it is important to believe that God has a plan for our peace and prosperity. Even if we cannot see it in the present moment, God knows what is best for us and will guide us through every difficulty. So, in difficult moments, instead of despairing and losing faith, we should put our trust in God and His plan. Remember that what we see as failure can be a stepping stone for God to do miracles in our lives. Let God lead and believe that He has a perfect plan for each of us. Transformation and growth. In life, everyone goes through periods of change and growth, but we are not always ready to accept those changes. Change often comes with insecurity and fear, but when we trust God's guidance, we can realize that these changes are necessary for our growth and maturity. This is the message from the passage as the speaker emphasizes trust in God's plan and willingness to accept the changes He brings. A specific example to illustrate this is the story of a child's growth. As children, we often like to eat sweet and unhealthy foods. However, in order to grow healthily, our parents are forced to change our eating habits, eliminate bad foods, and replace them with nutritious foods. Initially, this change may make us feel uncomfortable and dissatisfied, but gradually we realize that it is necessary for a healthy body and a better life. Likewise, God can also guide us through difficult changes to help us grow and develop fully. In Isaiah 35:4, it is said, "Say to those who are timid in heart, 'Be strong, do not fear. Behold, your Lord will come with vengeance, with recompense from the Lord. He will come and save you.'" This verse reminds us that God is always with us and will protect us, even when we face great challenges and changes in life. Change is not always easy, but it is an indispensable part of growth and development. We often stick to the past and old habits because they provide a sense of security and familiarity. However, to be able to move forward and achieve new successes, we must be willing to let go of the past and accept new opportunities. When we put our trust in God and accept the changes He brings, we will see that He is preparing us for a better future. Even challenges and difficulties can become opportunities for us to learn and grow. For example, a person who loses their job may feel frustrated and worried about the future, but sometimes losing their job is an opportunity for them to find a new, better job, or even start a business and succeed in their field, area they are passionate about. It's important to believe that God has a good plan for us and that every change, no matter how difficult, brings a valuable lesson and an opportunity for us to grow. Overcome adversity. In life, we often face situations that seem insurmountable, but when we put our faith in God, everything that seems impossible can become a reality. The story of the transformation of the impossible into possible is a clear testament to God's faith and guidance. A typical example is the story of Moses in the Bible. Moses was chosen by God to lead the Israelites out of Egypt, a seemingly impossible task. Pharaoh, king of Egypt, was very stubborn and did not want to let the Israelites go. However, with God's faith and guidance, Moses performed great miracles, such as turning the water of the Nile River into blood, calling insects and epidemics to attack Egypt, and finally the miracle divided the Red Sea in two, helping the Israelites escape the pursuit of Pharaoh's army. These things have proven that, when God leads, even things that seem impossible become reality. When we look back at modern life, we also have many examples of trusting in God and seeing miracles happen. A friend of mine once lost his job and faced many financial difficulties. He was very worried and didn't know how to continue supporting his family. However, instead of despairing, he put his faith in God and prayed every day. Miraculously, He not only found a new job, but also a better job with a higher salary and a better working environment. He believes that it was his faith in God that helped him overcome difficulties and achieve this success. Isaiah 35:4 says, "Say to those who are timid in heart, be strong, do not fear. Behold, your Lord will come with vengeance, with reparation from the Lord. He will come and save friend." This verse reminds us that God is always by our side, protecting and helping us in every situation, even when we face seemingly insurmountable difficulties. When we trust and let God lead, He will turn challenges into opportunities for us to grow and develop. Life is never without challenges and difficulties. Sometimes we feel like all doors are closed and there is no way out. But remember, when one door closes, God will open other better doors for us. It is important that we always put our trust in God and let Him lead our lives. Even in the darkest moments, God is working and preparing us for the best. Remember, when God leads, nothing is impossible. Trust in Him, and you will see miracles happen in your life. God always has a perfect plan for everyone, and when we let Him lead, miracles become reality. God will make the seemingly impossible possible and lead us to better things. Let faith in God be the source of motivation and hope in your life. God's provision. Life sometimes brings us challenges, making us feel disoriented and doubt our own worth. However, God's message emphasizes that our worth and identity are not determined by the actions of others, but by the love and purpose God has for each person. This is an important reminder to help us get through difficult times and continue to trust in God's plan. One of the famous stories in the Bible that illustrates this is the story of Joseph. Joseph was invited by his brothers and sold into slavery, then was falsely accused and imprisoned. In his darkest moments, Joseph could easily have felt worthless and forgotten. However, Joseph always maintained his faith in God and believed that He had a bigger plan for his life. In the end, thanks to his loyalty and unwavering faith, Joseph was not only freed, but also became the second most powerful person after the Pharaoh in Egypt, saving his entire family and nation from famine. Through Joseph's story, we see that our value is not limited by what others think or do, but by God's plan and love. In modern life, we also encounter similar situations. A friend of mine once went through a failed marriage and was betrayed by someone she trusted with all her heart. She feels lost, worthless, and doesn't know how to move on with her life. However, instead of letting negative emotions take over, she turned to God, finding comfort and hope in prayer. She began to rebuild her life, focusing on work and positive relationships. Over time, she not only overcame the pain, but also became stronger, more confident, and found true happiness. Her story proves that when we trust God's plan and don't let the actions of others define our worth, we can overcome any challenge and find peace. In Isaiah 35:4, God says, "Say to those who are timid in heart, be strong, do not fear. Behold, your Lord will come with vengeance, with recompense from the Lord. He will come and save you." This verse reminds us that no matter what trials we face, God is always by our side and will save us. When we face rejection or betrayal, we need to remember that our worth is defined by God, not by others. God has predetermined a path of blessings and success for each person, and no one can take that away. Always keep your faith in God, no matter the circumstances. Remember, our value is not determined by humans, but by God. He always has a good plan for us, and will turn difficulties into opportunities for us to grow and develop. When we trust and let God lead us, nothing is impossible, and we will find true peace and happiness in His love and guidance. Seek God first. Life sometimes brings us great challenges, making us feel like we are standing in front of closed doors with no way out. However, when we put our trust in God, we can find that He is opening other, better doors and leading us to opportunities we could not have imagined. Trust in God's plan can turn challenges into opportunities for us to grow and develop. A clear example is the story of Job in the Bible. Job was a rich, successful man who lived a full life. However, he was struck by a terrible trial. He lost all his property, health, and even the support of his family. During those difficult times, Job felt hopeless and did not understand why bad things were happening to him. However, despite his trials and suffering, Job did not give up his faith in God. He continued to pray and believe in His justice and love. In the end, God not only restored Job's fortune and health, but also gave him more blessings than before. Job's story demonstrates that when we keep our faith in God during difficult times, He will open new doors and give us more blessings than we can imagine. Similarly, a friend of mine went through a difficult time when the company he worked for encountered a major financial crisis and was forced to lay off employees. He lost his job and felt like all opportunities were closed. However, instead of giving up, he decided to put his trust in God and look for new opportunities. He spends time praying and seeking guidance from God. Sometime later, he received a new opportunity in a field he had never considered before. His new job not only brought him professional satisfaction, but also helped him develop his skills and achieve greater success. This is clear proof that when we trust God and accept changes, He can open new doors of possibility. Isaiah 35:4 reminds us that, "Say to those who are timid in heart, 'Be strong, do not fear. Behold, your Lord will come with vengeance, with recompense from the Lord. He will come and save you.'" This emphasizes that, even though we face difficulties and challenges, God is always by our side and has a good plan for us. When we trust and place our trust in Him, He will open new doors and lead us to opportunities we never thought of. Commit to prayer. In life, we often face challenges and difficulties that sometimes feel insurmountable. At times like these, seeking comfort and guidance from God can help us get through difficult times and find peace in life. Personal experiences and stories from the Bible both prove that when we trust God and pray, He has the ability to transform our circumstances and bring about good results. A clear demonstration of this is the story of Daniel in the Bible. Daniel was a man who loved God and lived a life faithful to Him. However, he faced a great trial when he was thrown into a pit of lions by King Nebuchadnezzar for continuing to pray to God despite the prohibition. In this dangerous situation, Daniel did not give up his faith and continued to pray. God protected Daniel, and when King Nebuchadnezzar came to check, he found that Daniel was uninjured and the lions had not touched him. This story not only testifies to God's protection and power, but also shows the power of prayer and trust in Him even in the most difficult of circumstances. Similarly, I went through a difficult period when my company encountered a major financial crisis. Even though I worked hard and gave it my all, I still found myself at risk of losing my job. During this time, I felt worried and didn't know what to do. However, instead of letting worry take over, I decided to pray and seek guidance from God. I asked Him to help me find the right direction and give me the strength to get through this period. Over time, I noticed new opportunities began to appear. I was given more responsibility, and gradually my work became more stable. Trust in God and prayer helped me get through the difficult times and see His guidance and blessings. Isaiah 35:4 reminds us that even though we face trials and difficulties, We need not fear because God will come and save us. God's comfort and guidance are invaluable during difficult times, and prayer can help us find the peace and strength we need to get through. Please comment number 1 so God can help you have a wonderful day. An intimate relationship with God. Life is not without challenges and failures. During difficult times, it is easy for us to feel discouraged and lost. However, when we seek help and guidance from God, we often discover that He is preparing better things for us, even if we cannot see them immediately. Personal experiences and Bible stories prove that placing faith in God can turn painful moments into precious opportunities. One outstanding story from the Bible is that of Joseph. When he was young, Joseph was invited by his brothers and sold into slavery. Despite being deprived of everything and facing many difficulties, Joseph did not give up his faith in God. Instead of allowing injustice and suffering to demoralize him, Joseph continued to live by God's principles. As a result, He led Joseph from a slave in prison to a high-ranking official in Egypt. His faithfulness and faith in God's plan helped Joseph not only overcome his challenges, but also achieve greater success than he could have ever imagined. I also had a similar experience in my life. A few years ago, I encountered a big shock when my job was suddenly fired due to financial problems in the company. At first, I felt like my world was collapsing. I feel like I don't know what I should do, and the future seems unclear. However, instead of sitting back and letting frustration control me, I decided to seek comfort and guidance from God. I spent time praying and seeking guidance from the Bible. Over time, I realized that losing my job gave me the opportunity to try a new field that I had always been passionate about, but had never dared to try. As a result, my new job not only aligns with my passions, but also opens up many new professional and personal opportunities. This change not only improved my financial situation, but also brought joy and satisfaction to my work. The Bible story and my personal experience both prove that, when we face challenges and failures, seeking God's help can lead us to better opportunities. According to the Bible, God has a good plan for each of us, and difficulties are just part of the journey to lead us to the blessings He has prepared. Isaiah 35:4 reminds us that, in times of trouble, we do not need to fear because God will come and save us. When we put our trust in Him and open our hearts to receive His guidance, we will find that He has the ability to transform challenges into precious opportunities and bring peace and success that we cannot imagine. Remember, even in the most painful times, God is always by our side and preparing better things for us. Faith in Him can help us overcome all challenges and open new doors full of possibilities in life. An intimate relationship with God. In life, we often feel that the failures and disappointments of others can affect us, making us feel inferior or not valuable enough. However, the Bible and life stories show that our value is not determined by the evaluation of others, but is determined by God's love and plan. When we realize this, we can find comfort and strength from our faith in God, even when faced with criticism or rejection. A good example from the Bible is the story of David. Before becoming king of Israel, David went through many difficulties and trials. Despite being the man chosen by God to become king, David was not respected by his family or society. He was considered a small guy, of no value in the eyes of others. However, God saw David's true value and chose him to lead the people of Israel. God's choice proved that David's value did not depend on human perception, but on his calling and plan. Similarly, I went through a personal experience that made me more aware of my worth not being determined by the judgment of others. Some time ago, I was rejected from a career opportunity that I had been looking forward to and felt was an important step in my career. This rejection not only disappointed me, but also made me feel self-conscious and doubt my abilities. However, instead of letting rejection hold me back, I decided to seek comfort and strength from God. I pray and read the Bible to better understand my value in His eyes. Over time, I realized that this rejection was not the end, but just part of a larger plan that God had prepared for me. I found a new opportunity that better matches my passions and skills, and this job not only helps me develop my career, but also brings a lot of joy and success. The realization that my worth is not determined by the judgment of others, but is determined by God's love, has helped me overcome feelings of frustration and low self-esteem, and given me confidence and self-esteem, motivation to keep going. The Bible reminds us that our worth and reputation are determined not by humans but by God. In Matthew 6:33, we are encouraged that as we seek God's kingdom and His righteousness, everything we need will be added. This shows that when we focus on our relationship with God and trust in His plan, our worth is determined by His love and care and not by our own judgments. People. Staying committed and finding connection with God is important to experience His strength and transformation. The Bible emphasizes that a sincere and ongoing relationship with God not only brings peace and joy, but also creates profound impacts in our lives. When we put God first and maintain a habit of prayer, we open the door to miracles and blessings from Him. A clear example of commitment and the power of prayer can be seen in the story of Daniel. During his exile in Babylon, Daniel faced many trials and dangers. However, Daniel never gave up his daily prayer habit, even though it might have led to the risk of trial. Daniel's perseverance and commitment to prayer brought protection and wisdom from God, helping him overcome all difficulties and eventually become a highly influential person in the Babylonian court. Similarly, in my personal life, I also went through a difficult and challenging time. Recently, my work has encountered serious problems, and I feel overwhelmed by pressure and anxiety. Instead of letting this feeling control me, I decided to return to my daily prayer routine. Every day, I take time to pray, seeking guidance and peace from God. Although my work didn't immediately improve, staying connected to God helped me feel calmer and have a more positive outlook on the situation. Commitment to prayer not only helps me feel secure, but also helps me look at problems in a new way. As I focused on my relationship with God and trusted His plan, I began to see new opportunities emerge and creative solutions to the problems I was facing. A deep connection with God has helped me get through difficult times and created miracles and transformation in my life. Matthew 6:6 advises us to pray privately and sincerely. God sees what we do in secret and will reward us. Commitment to prayer and seeking God not only brings peace, but also opens doors to transformation and guidance from Him. The Bible also shows in James 4:8, when we draw near to God, He will draw near to us. This is a powerful invitation to maintain a deep and ongoing relationship with God, to experience His strength and blessings. Please like this video so God will always be with you. Remember, when you commit to praying and staying connected to God, you not only create a change in your life, but also open the door to miracles and guidance from Him. This commitment is the key to experiencing the peace, strength, and transformation God has prepared for you. As you seek the Lord daily, you will find that He will draw near to you and bring priceless blessings and protections to your life. When we face challenges and failures, it is important to keep the faith and not let difficulties shake our steadfastness. God has promised to never abandon us and will always lead us on the right path, even when everything around us seems impossible. In the most difficult times, remember that transformation and miracles are waiting for you if you keep your faith and pray unceasingly. Let God's love and guidance be your source of strength and motivation to overcome all obstacles. God will open new doors and bring you blessings you never imagined. Don't let failures and suffering make you give up. Instead, use them as opportunities to grow and become stronger in your faith. As the Bible teaches, when we seek God and put our trust in Him, He will respond and make the impossible possible. Keep praying, maintain faith, and trust in the wonderful plan God has prepared for you. Peace and joy will come to you, and you will witness great miracles in your life.